Hey ToGA brother family, it's Sean again. For those of you guys are probably not going to listen to any of this because you're too focused on what this says. So it says, I don't like morning people or mornings or people. It's a joke because I hate morning people. I've never been a morning person, drives me crazy, I'm not up at that hour, so yeah, I don't get people who go out and run 14 miles at 7 in the morning. It's just mind-blowing. But let's move past that. You know what this means. You know what this says. Let's get on with the video. I have a screwdriver in my hand. I have this black box in my hand. I have this in my hand. And I've got this. Now, if you have seen this, you know what this is. You also have or have not seen this. Man, I have a couple screws. What's all this got to do with the video? Good question. Unfortunately, the other day, as you guys know, as you guys have seen my channel, I have been tinkering with my computer and all those, items and so on and so forth. Well, to be quite honest with you, as soon as you add items in your PC and it boots up, it sees new items and says, oh, wait a minute, I have to add this. And sometimes when you add new items to a computer, it says, oh, I think this one's got that file. Let me check this one and pull that file and boot your computer. So let me explain this in layman's terms. Let's say you have 2 of these in there. But let's say you installed Windows on this one, this big one. You want extra storage, so you go out and buy this one. This is a 2.5. Look at the size of this. This is my hand. This is the size. It's small. This is my hand. This is this size. It's pretty big. It's about the same size as my hand, okay? These are called 3.5. These are called 2.5. But why am I telling you this? Because 9 times out of 10, your PC case or tower has this installed, okay? We're kind of moving away from that in this generation because what we're really adding is an SSD in there, solid state drive, which boots up like that 10 times faster than these. Do you know why these boot up slowly? Look inside there. See how that's a circle? Okay? There's a needle in there. It's like a CD player. It spins like that really fast, and it reads data and writes data. But it's reading data and pulling data and analyzing data while that's spinning. So this is a solid piece of equipment with moving parts. Okay? Same as this one. It just happens to be a smaller size. Mainly used on laptops because who in the right mind would carry a laptop with this big old chunkin' thing, right? It would make the laptop heavy. That's why they're able to make laptops lighter, okay? Okay, let's get on with the whole point of the video. I know I'm exaggerating here, but you guys get my point there, right? Okay, why am I holding this? Well, unfortunately, while I booted my computer to try to install Windows for the very first time, because unfortunately, my computer crashed. It's not reading Windows, that file that says, oh, you have Windows, let's go ahead and boot the computer up and bring you to your home screen. So what I'm doing is I went to Windows, I took, hold on guys. I know it's here, give me a second. I took this. This is a thumb drive. What I did was I installed what's called a media creation tool. The media creation tool is a copy of Windows that you can install, right? It's a file on here that you can install Windows clean and fresh, okay? So I did that. Unfortunately, this hard drive is formatted in MBR, Master Boot Record. What it's saying is it needs to be done in GBT, Golf Bravo Tango, GBT, Golf Brother Tango, okay? That's what it needs to be on here. So what I need to do is I need to find a secondary computer, which is right there. It's on the bed, okay? It's working with Windows. I need to take this, unscrew this enclosure, which has 2 screws. Do you guys see them? Right there, right there. Let me show you with a flashlight. Okay. You guys see it? It's right there, and right there, right here, and right here, okay? I need to unscrew this with a very small sized screwdriver, okay? Not too much that you strip the screw, just enough to get it loose, okay? What I like to do is I like to hold the screw next to it, okay? All right. Now, I'm gonna, so I can see the words are written along the bottom here, which means this is the top, this is the bottom, right? This would be the bottom, this would be the top. So I'm gonna slide it out like that, carefully. Take this, hold this aside, okay? So this is the front of it. This is the physical drive right here, okay? I do not want this as the drive because this is going to be my extra storage, okay? This part detaches. Where does it detach? Good question. Detaches right here, okay? I'm going to gently remove it because as you can see, there is the SATA, the data connection, and the power connection on this side. It's to group together to make one data port cable connection there and a wall socket connection there. So you can use a hard drive outside your computer with a couple of cables. Unfortunately, I have to connect this. It's just plastic, it's not glass. So we're going to line up those 2 ports on there. You see them? There's the SATA, the data connection. There's the power connection right there. So we're going to line them both up very gently until it fits, okay? Now we're going to take the enclosure, right? That sticker on the bottom means it's the bottom of the case. That right there. You can put it upright. It's up to you. I don't suggest it because it means you got to rotate pretty quickly, right? Give it its best ease of work, okay? By using it in the most easiest position, which is down, okay? So I'm going to gently slide that in there, okay? There's only one way it goes in. Don't force it. Okay. I'm going to take the screw, put that in there, take my screwdriver, screw that together. Okay. Take this screw, put that in here. Careful not to drop it. A little bit of a side note here. Data can be damaged or removed fatally if you have magnets near it, okay? I do not suggest magnetizing your screwdrivers if you're going to go near data or data particles, okay? Such as hard drives, okay? Now, this is all together. There's the front, there's the back. So I'm going to attach a cable here and a power cable to the wall here. And I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to read it like it's inside of a computer on that computer. And I'm going to change the master boot record partition to a GBR partition so I can store it into my PC. And here, I'm going to add the case, okay? I'm going to open the side of the case here, this little panel right here, okay? Then I'm going to store it in the side I'm going to attach the SATA cable. I'm going to attach the power cable. And we're going to boot from this guy here to tell it to install Windows on this hard drive, so that when I turn my PC back on, it's not reading from this. It's reading from this, which is going to be permanently attached into here with this. This is called a hot swap tray. You see those 4 screws on the bottom, those little rubber grommets? Okay, believe it or not, look what's on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 screw holes. That's where these guys come into play. These are going to go underneath there, and this is going to slide on there. Now, you see these gripping parts right here? This is going to go to the back or the panel of the computer, okay? So when I want to pull it out, I squeeze them, pull it out, called a hot swap, okay? So in order to do that, you need to put the connection towards the squeezing tabs, okay? And then on the bottom, you're going to align the screw holes. Let me find them. Come on, now you're here. There's one. Oh, it's up there. Was that further? Okay. So I'd put it right there. Not much is exposed. Quite a bit of it is the back. It's going to slide in, lock, and it's going to grab data from these 2 ports into the computer consistently. But we can't do that until we swap the other one for that other file type system, okay? So, let's go on over to the computer, and we're going to go ahead and take care of all that and show you how it's done, okay? Now, unfortunately, let me show you guys something. Look at the back of this. You see that weird looking USB cable? That's not your average USB cable. You might have to go to the parts store to go find that cable. All right? I don't know why this is taking forever. All right. Yes, close. Okay. I'm going to see if I can find an object for you guys to let this basically rest upon so we can do this together. Because I'm going to show you how it's done. Real time. Okay? Move this here. Okay. Okay. So, just so you guys are aware, this is what the cable looks like. Kind of a weird looking cable, right? So, what we're going to do is we're going to find the USB port. By the way, look at this. That's blue. It's not just your average USB cable. It's a USB 3.0. And I'm surprised it doesn't say it on there, but it should. Okay, well anyway. It's a USB 3.0, which is super speed, okay? So, we're going to take this. We're going to plug. Can only go one way, okay? Plug it in. All right, now, let me find that plug, because I have a feeling I stuck it back in my briefcase. I did. Okay. So, I have a regular transformer type power block, okay? And this is what it looks like with a boot that's on the end of it, all right? Now, this is going to go right on the side, and just like that, okay? I'm going to turn this over So the word is on the top, meaning that's the top of this hard drive. Okay, plug that in. All right. I'm gonna turn this on, okay? Now, it should read this as a external drive, and it did. Now, what I'm gonna do is, for you guys, show you how to do this. All right, what you need to do is come down here. This is the start menu right here, okay? Right click, and you're gonna come to disk management, okay? It's gonna bring up a screen. It's gonna show you all the disk drives via DVD drives, solid state, CD-ROM, hard drives that are in your system, that are on your computer, okay? All right, this one right here, all right, you guys see that? Let me bring you a little closer so you can see this, okay? You guys see this right here? Look at what it says on C. It says OS, right? Okay, that means it is this computer's operating system, okay? Do not mess with that one, okay? This is the other external hard drive that I have on here. And it just says here, this CD-ROM, because I have a CD-ROM tray on the side of this computer, okay? There's no media in there, so there's showing nothing. But it shows me that that's one of the drives on this computer installed, okay? Let me forewarn you, if you do not know what you're doing, do not proceed past this part, because it can royally mess up your computer. Do not mess with this, okay? If you do know what you're doing, let's continue. Okay, so right here, all right, I need to make this a different file system. So I'm going to put my cursor right here where it says disk 1, right click, and we can't. Okay. So let's convert to a dynamic. The operation you selected will convert the selected basic disks to dynamic disks. If you convert the disks to dynamic, you will not be able to start installed operating systems from any volume on those disks. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. It's not supported, which means we can't. Okay. Well. Okay, do you guys see what I did there? So I had to delete all of the space that it's already allocated space-wise to that drive, okay? So now it's blacked out. Do you see how it says unallocated and primary partition? Primary partition, which basically a partition means an area of space that is allocated for specific files. This right here, this 260, that is reserved for a backup, okay? This recovery partition, this is also used in case you need to recover from Windows if your computer has a troublesome problem, almost a fatal problem. You can recover from a specific part in Windows if it is likely to reboot that way. Right here, this is where your operating system is. These are where your files are. These are where you can save images, photos, all that on this one right here, okay? These are allocated partitions. You cannot mess with these. This is unallocated, means it's unassigned, all right? So over here, what we need to do is right-click, convert to GPT disk. Now, do you see where it says convert to MBR? That means this is successfully converted into GBR. Now, we go back to our other one and take the hard drive out of, okay, and you can close this window. Do not mess with any more of it, okay? So, what I can do now is take it out of here, put the drive back into the tray, put the tray back into the computer, and install Windows. All right? So let's go through and do that, okay? But we need to tell the computer to remove it from its system. Okay? So, I don't need this anymore. I can turn it off. Okay? Unplug the power, unplug the USB. All right. You can kind of set this aside because we're not going to need this. Now, later on, what I do is I'm going to use this to attach my 6 terabyte, or sorry, my 8 terabyte hard drive for all my photos and media. Okay? Because I have a lot of photos I keep. I keep all my photos. All right? I don't store them on my phone. I keep them at home, so that if I ever lose them and my phone crashes like it does and it did a long time ago, I don't have to worry about my photos being gone because they're at home backed up. That's why you always back up your stuff. Okay, so let's take these 2 screws out. Let's take the tray out. Let's go put this back in the computer and boot Windows and tell it to boot from the USB and put it on here so we can boot from here later on. All right, come on, let's go. This is a very lengthy process, all right? Like I said, if you don't know what you're doing, I do not suggest you do this for a while, okay? So I'm going to take this screw out, okay? Come on. If you lose these screws, it's not the end of the world. You can always go to your hardware store or computer parts store. Now, when I mean computer parts store, I don't mean Best Buy, I don't mean Walmart, I mean your specialty computer parts stores. Right? Okay, so remember, we set that and close it aside. Gently pull this apart. Okay? Install this back onto the tray. Remember, that port goes by the grippy parts. So, what I'm going to do, don't do this very much. Don't shake it. Alright? But you got to find the holes. Okay. Now, we're going to take our screw, put it in the grommet first. Okay. And I suggest you get that one hand tight. And this one. Okay. This is hand tightened. Okay. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to install this into your PC so that it's properly, correctly done. Come down here with me, okay? Alright. I'm going to put you right there. put you right there. Okay. So, there's screws back here. Do you see it? One here and one here. Take those out. Please, 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 for all that is holy and good, do not perform this when your power supply is on. Matter of fact, you can take your power cable, pull it out. There's no power to this machine whatsoever. If you just used it, there is residual power. It's not completely fed 100%, but it's residual, right? It's like water. When you turn the faucet off, there's still water in the hose, right? It's residual from when you were flowing it. So give it a couple seconds, then take your case cover off. Now, for me, I have a huge side fan, but unfortunately, I have to disconnect the cable so that it doesn't break. Now, I've taken that off. I'm going to store this to the side. Okay? Keep that to the side. All right. So, right here is where I'm going to put my hard drive cases. Okay? So, right here, I have cables and ports and all that. Whoops. Okay. See that? This cable is my SATA cable. These are all of my hot swap tray slots. Okay? I can put any kind of hot swap tray I want. Okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this tray right up here. Yeah. Right there. Alright. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect that cable there, which is fed into right there. Okay? It's directly into the motherboard. So when this boots up, it's going to see that I have data and it's ready to go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the power cable. Bad. Okay. All right. Now, these cables have notches on the side. All right? You see that? They have notches. You need to align the notch with your hard drive. Okay? I'll put that in there. Store that down there because I don't have any other drives to worry about. Okay? Everything looks good. Everything is fine and dandy. Alright? Now, what I'm gonna do is later on, I'm gonna attach this hard drive, which has also 500 gigs of storage, right? For other stuff that I'd like to pull from here. Now, I don't have the screws, so I won't be installing that. But for now, what I can do is I can put it in here, but not attach the SATA cable. Do you understand that? Alright. Let's just install the hot swap tray for, you know, kicks and giggles. Alright. Now, I'm going to take this and just lay that right there. Alright? Because that will be installed later, and I don't want to have to open this case to do it again. To put it back in there. Alright. So, what we're going to do is we're then going to take this and install it in the back of the computer. Okay? Alright. So I'm going to find a slot, stick it in there, and now what I'm going to do is close this part up. But remember what I told you? So this particular part goes right on the motherboard itself. Okay? Well, I've done this a couple of times, so I know what I'm feeling for. Alright? But I want to get this done pretty quickly for you guys, so you guys aren't bored. Okay. It's in there. It's on. Let me make sure that nothing is protruding on the fan. Okay? Because otherwise, you'll hear vibration noises when the fan starts, as I start up my computer. Okay. I've already screwed this one in. These are thumb screws. That's why they're very wide and fat. You see that? Now, you could use a screwdriver, but it's not necessary. Okay? Just hand tighten them. That's all you need, folks. Okay. Take your power cable. Plug it in. Now, this is the power switch. Switch it on. Otherwise, this PC won't turn on. Okay? I'm going to slide this right back. And then, last but not least, turn it on. Alright. What I need to do is I need to put it into its BIOS. Okay. Now, you guys are lucky because I have a pretty big screen. Alright? Yeah. Okay. What I need to do is show you on the side what I'm doing. Okay. Alright. So, this right here shows you where it's going to boot from, alright? Now, we need to boot from the USB, right? Because we're not booting from the hard drive. So, this is already in the boot priority. You guys see that? Right here? This is my boot priority. These are all the drives I have listed for it to boot from, okay? You see all that? Now, when I quit and I boot, I can boot from the USB to install Windows on the actual hard drive. So what I'm going to do is hit F10. It says there's no configurations. Save and reset. Okay. It's going to reset and boot from that USB drive. I'm going to show you. Because before, what was happening is it was saying that there's no hard drive found. So now, that's a good sign. It's thinking. Okay? It's a very good sign. There. Alright. That will have to do for now. I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay. So right here, this is your Windows startup because it's reading from my USB. The language to install, I'm English, so I'm going to push English/United States. That's where I live. Time and currency, English, United States. That's the time and the currency format. Keyboard, US input method, I want US. So we're going to hit next. Okay, I'm going to install. You can repair a computer if you need to, but I'm going to install now. So setup is starting. Okay. I'd also like to tell you guys this. I don't have a licensed product key right now. Now what this says is, if this is the first time you're installing Windows on this PC, or you're installing a different edition, you need to enter a valid Windows product key. Your product key should be in the confirmation email you received after buying a digital copy of Windows, or on a label inside the box that Windows came in. The product looks like this. It's got basically 20 digits, okay? 25 digits long, all right? But watch this. If you're reinstalling Windows, select I don't have a product key. Your copy of Windows will be automatically activated later. I don't, so I don't have a product key. Okay? Here's all of the additions and all the architecture and date modified. All right? I'm going to pick Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 Pro. Okay? Select Next. You're going to read the terms and conditions. There's no way I'd be reading all this to you. Read that on your own will, all right? Accept the license terms. Next, okay? Upgrade. Install Windows and keep the files, settings, and applications. Or custom. Install Windows only. Advanced. Okay? So, drive 0, unallocated space, 931 gigabytes. Remember, I had a terabyte. They use some files for stuff that you're not supposed to touch, all right? So that's the one I'm going to select, and I'm going to select Next. If you have any problems, down here it will tell you why, and it did the first time I did this, because it told me it was in MBR format. You need to format in GBT format, so I was not able to continue. I hit format and it wouldn't even format it there. So that's why I had to take it out of the enclosure and put it back in there. So I'm going to hit Next. It says the partitions on this disk selected for installation are not in the recommended order. For additional information about installing 2 GBT disks, go to the Microsoft website and search for GBT. Yes. And so it's going to be copying the files, putting them all in there. This is kind of like a live demonstration for you guys, but it's not really. I mean, I'm doing this at almost midnight tonight, so yeah, you guys are getting a live demo. Now, I want to state something here for the record so you guys are aware of this. I am not bypassing this activation key. I actually purchased it, but I haven't received it yet. So I'm waiting for it to come through in an email so I can add it later. But for your installation, it's not required to continue with the installation. I just want you guys to be aware of that, okay? Also, while this is happening, I want to draw something to y'all's attention, okay? I have hard drives, external hard drives. I highly suggest you go buy them so that you can basically pull important files and store them on here and keep these in your briefcase, keep them at home, keep them at work, wherever you need to, so you don't have to fiddle with them later, okay? Because unfortunately, I have to install Windows, so I can't even access them. And also, side note, when you do this, you're going to lose all your files. It's basically, think of it this way. Think of a car being completely manufactured, ready to drive. Okay? Now let's say that there's a fault in one of the systems and you can't do anything about it. So what needs to happen? You need to remove everything from scratch down to the frame and put it all back together, okay? So you're going to lose everything, right? It's the same thing with files, right? Because I had to install this, I lost all of my files. Luckily, I took all of the drives that had storage in them, my M2 storage, my SSD storage, which originally had the operating system, but it wouldn't find it when it booted, which was the main focus of the problem. I don't know why. So that's why I'm booting it to a physical hard drive, all right? Hoping it won't cause any problems. So yeah, I highly suggest you guys purchase this media, or if that's not your type, this is going to be kind of ridiculous, go out and purchase a bunch of these US file sticks, okay, these flash sticks, all right? So, it just said it needs to restart, and then hopefully it will restart, and I'll have Windows. Let's see, if it boots correctly, it should have overridden all that process. If not, what we need to do is we need to go back and tell the computer to boot from that hard drive that the operating system is located on. And I'll show you how to do that. This process takes a little bit of time. Be patient with it, guys. I know it's kind of unbearable, but would you rather have a working computer or nothing at all? So be patient. It'll happen. It'll work. Just let it take its time. All right? This is starting services, so that's a good sign. Getting devices ready, 75%. One thing I want to let you guys know also, because I had a solid state drive, the startup process is going to take a little bit longer. It's going to be a little slower because it's a physical drive. A solid state is basically like one of these. It's a non-moving part storage piece. It's the same thing as an SSD. It's basically like this in a little bit bigger size, okay? This boots up instantly. These boot up kinda instantly, but not really that fast, okay? So you have to wait a little bit. Well, while I'm waiting, I am going to put back that hard drive back in the storage tray. Okay, this was the 4 terabyte. Okay. Come on. It doesn't always go correctly the first time. Let's see. Finally. Okay. Yes, these are the screws. I told y'all this was going to be a lengthy process, and I wasn't lying. So, it just rebooted. From my understanding, it told the system, do not boot from that USB stick, because the operating system is no longer on there. It is on the C drive or the hard drive. Okay, that's a good sign. This is just a moment. Okay. So now I can keep this with me, and this will have 4 terabytes of storage. I can keep all my files from computer to computer. I don't have to worry about space. Cool. Alright. Now we just got to worry about getting this taken care of, so I can use that. That's my Squishmallow, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. Alright, this is good. This shows that we are in the process of installing it correctly. Alright, is this the right keyboard layout? Yes, we're good. Want to add a second keyboard layout? Skip. Let's connect it to the network. Okay. Don't have the internet. Alright. Connect now. Ah, okay. Since I don't have the connection yet, let's continue with limited setup. Okay. There we go. I don't want you guys watching my password, so I would show you this step, but these are security questions, and I don't need you guys knowing that information. But one thing I want to show you is this screen. So I can actually show you this to you, okay? It says create security questions for this account. Just in case you forgot your password, choose 3 security questions and make sure your answers are unforgettable. This is going to say 1 of 3, your answer. You're going to type in your answer and then proceed. You're going to hit next, okay? This next button right here. Then it's going to say 2 of 3. I've already answered 2 questions, so I'm going to answer one of these questions, okay? And then I'm going to answer it in the bottom, all right? So let me do that while I am away from the cam, or the cam is away from the screen. Okay. There we go. All right, now, this is basically your privacy settings for this computer, all right? Now, I do not want tailored experience, all right? Diagnostic data, I do not want diagnostic data, okay? My location, I don't really feel like having my location discovered. Inking and typing, I don't really feel like having that one. Advertising ID, I don't feel like having that one. And find my device, turn on find my device and use your device's location data to help you find your device if you lose it. You must sign into Windows with your Microsoft account to use this feature, okay? It's going to stay home with me, so I'm going to say no. Accept. Let Cortana get things done. Not now. I don't want to go through the whole setup process for Cortana. And it says, hi, success. We're getting everything ready for you. All right, this might take several minutes. So this is where you can grab your cell phone, go ahead and browse Facebook, browse YouTube, browse Twitter, browse TikTok, Snapchat, whatever you got to do, because this is going to take a little bit. And then once you get to your home screen, folks, that's where you can go into your case, your computer case, and remove that USB stick that I had stored Windows on to boot from to create it. All right, you can pull it for good. Okay, and then what we'll need to do is we'll need to basically go into the boot up screen the next time it boots, and go to the boot partition order and tell it to prioritize the C drive that has the operating system on there. Okay. Almost there. Yay! Alright. Cool. Maybe later. Alright, cool. So you guys see all this? This is my entire home screen right here. Alright? I have Cortana here. Now, this is where you can add your internet. Your internet is down here. Okay? So, go into local internet settings. Interesting. Okay. Well, here's what I may have to end up doing. I may have to actually end up taking a network cable and having the internet for that. Well, I don't really physically need the internet right now, so let's go ahead and open up our file system, okay? You see all these? There's my documents, my music, my videos, my pictures, my downloads. Remember, that USB stick, this is it right here, All right. Now, you see that? That shows you that the boot EFI sources and support, that's where your boot record and all that stuff was fed. So you can disconnect that one by down here at the bottom, right here, okay, that little arrow, click that little USB thing, safely remove hardware and eject media. I'm going to eject it. Safe to remove hardware. Make sure you see that message. Okay, it says US mass storage device can now be safely removed from the computer. If you don't, it will give you problems. So I'm going to go underneath downstairs and pull it back out, and we should be good. Okay? All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I had a cap to this. There it is. Okay. Now, if you guys remember that box, this is the cable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to feed the USB end, which, by the way, look at the end of it. It's blue, right? So it needs to go in a super speed 3.0 connection down in your computer system. Make sure it is. It's usually in a blue spot, and it will tell you SS on your panel that it's a super speed spot on your computer. So I'm going to feed it down through the port hole of my PC. I'm going to plug it in on my hard drive on my desk. Okay. What I'm going to do is take this gizmo, the hard drive block. I'm going to pull this guy up, feed it up so that I can see it. Alright. Feed it a little bit more because it might fall down. Okay. And then plug it into your power block. Okay. Alright. Now take it and plug it into your hard drive. Take your cap, put it there. Okay, now if I turn the drive on, it's just going to turn on. But what I need to do is I need to install it in the back of my PC. There we go. I have installed it cable-wise in the back of my PC. And there it is. Photos and video. Choose what happens. Open the file folder. Look, there's all my files. That's how you fix Windows when it crashes. Thank you all for watching. This is about to be an hour long. I'm sorry, but this is how long the process takes. Alright, now you guys know. Don't take it to Geek Squad. Don't take it to Best Buy. Don't take it anywhere else. You can do this at home if you follow those steps. Remember, that one program, if you do not understand what is going on, and if you do not pay attention, you will mess up your computer. I promise. Don't be forceful and don't be hesitant. Okay? You have to know what's going on. Alright? Thank y'all for watching. You have a brand new computer. You have to put all your files back on there, but at least it is running. Alright? I'm Sean ToGA, brother. I'm out. Thank y'all for watching.